Hey Seekers, Brad from RotoHeat here with another 2020 Outlook, and it's unfortunately because CMC's hurt, but we're talking Mike Davis, running back, Carolina Panthers. We appreciate everything you guys have been doing to help support the channel, liking the videos, commenting on our start sits and waivers and all the things. You guys rock. You help make RotoHeat great and what we're trying to do here at RotoHeat even better. So keep the conversation going at RotoHeat.com, on Discord, here on YouTube, and anywhere else you see RotoHeat.
Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire.
So this is a big one to unpack. The first thing we would want to make sure you guys remember is currently, as it stands Monday morning, CMC's out 4-ish to 6 weeks potentially. So anybody that you get to replace him, whether it's Mike Davis or Trenton Cannon, who are currently the guys on the roster, or whatever street free agent Carolina will ultimately bring in, obviously the Devonta Freemans and Lamar Millers of the world are currently sitting out there, be careful with it, because if Carolina's in a position where CMC coming back helps them, they're going to put him back in and he's going to get what he gets. And CMC, the kind of player CMC is, he's not going to want to sit on the shelf. He works hard. He's smart. He is one of the best players in the game. So that's what I want to preface this before the conversation gets into what to do about this backfield. CMC is the guy. He's their guy, and injuries seem to be an unfortunate side effect of no preseason right now. Guys are getting all sorts of injuries, and week 2 is a maddening sign of things to come for our fantasy season. But all that being said, Mike Davis is a guy that is very, very consistent. He's been in the league since 2015. He was out of South Carolina, and he did well in college. At South Carolina, he had 2 really solid seasons once he got his opportunity in 2013 and 2014, averaging right around 5 yards a carry. Down there in the SEC is no small task, especially when you're playing for, the Gamecocks. Once he got to the NFL, he's had, stints with San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago. I mean, he's bounced around, but when given the opportunity, not terrible. In 2018 with Seattle was his biggest workload. He had 112 carries, 514 yards, and 4 touchdowns, about 4.6 yards a carry. He does well in the receiving game. He has caught roughly 80% of the passes thrown his way out of the backfield. Not a lot. Ultimately, when you look at things like Pro Football Reference and you're pulling up the stats, he doesn't have a heavy workload, but it shows you something that all these teams will continue to give this guy opportunities and bring him in and give him a shot. When he came out in 2015, he wasn't the fastest guy. I mean, he ran a 4.61, but he was very durable. He was proven to have good vision, can do what he needs to do in the receiving game to be successful. So he's not a poor man CMC. Do not get us wrong. We're not saying he's going to win you games every week. What he's going to do is going to give you opportunity to be successful and help keep the ship straight until either CMC comes back or some other chips fall. It appears after the game that he's kind of the guy right now to get the lion's share of the work, at least from the PPR side of things. Obviously it was a pretty solid showing once he came in relief and when given the opportunities. This is a guy that is, obviously 8'8", 74 yards so far. He's a guy that can help flex in. He's a guy that they can lean on, and because they're potentially going to be behind, they're going to need to pass. You need a running back you can trust that's going to catch out of the backfield when the first couple of reads aren't there. Davis is going to get you fantasy production. So we would definitely recommend going out there and snagging him up, because whoever is going to be back there is going to get opportunities and going to give you an opportunity to still be competitive. This year, 2020 has been crazy because there's so many injuries. We've seen the Suttons and the Saquons and obviously CMC. I mean, all these different chips have fallen. These are startable chips, so you need to be able to find a guy that you can plug in and use in a pinch to keep you going in that direction. Especially in your redraft leagues, you get one season, that's it. From a dynasty perspective, obviously this is, just is what it is, and you move on, and CMC will come back when he comes back, and the world will be right again. But for redraft purposes, Mike Davis is the guy that we would recommend going out and getting. Until we see kind of what Carolina does, be cautious. Don't go blowing up all your money on one guy, because there's plenty of other guys that you can go spend your money on. I mean, we saw Drew Lock, you know, obviously you got Jeff Driscoll and some of these guys that you're going to need to get, depending on if you're the unlucky owner who owns multiple injured guys like I have with the Marlon Macks and Suttons and some of these guys. You're going to have to be careful on how you spend your money. But Mike Davis is a guy that you can plug in at least for the next few weeks and get potentially some PPR value out of. I would anticipate that Carolina is probably on the lookout for a running back currently, whether it's via trade or via free agency. I mean, there's quite a few guys. If you look at like the NFL trade rumors, I mean, there's plenty of running backs that are still out there that can jump right in and pick it up and go. You know, let's say Carolina goes out and gets Freeman or Miller. I mean, those guys are going to get in and get going. So Davis could be your PPR guy still, if they get a running back who's more of a between the tackles guy, or maybe they think Trenton Cannon's the guy and they kind of split it that way. You know, at least the PPR value for Davis is there. So be careful, but let us know in the comments. You know, do you think Mike Davis is somebody that you're going to try to acquire? He's had a little bit of a run in the NFL here and there, you know, especially with Seattle. Is he a guy that you think that you're going to be able to get more than 4 to 6 weeks out of? You know, is CMC coming back? And let's just have the conversation. As always, I'll be watching the comments and doing my best to respond and try to help you guys be successful navigating these waiver wires in week 2 and beyond. Thank you guys for everything you do, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Also, right there, playlist. Hit it. Watch the videos. Do it. You want to. Do it.